Good morning, dear students. So, I am here with the Indian Express newspaper, and today's date is 19 November 2025. Okay, so let's begin today's slide. This slide, I already explained about the slide on my shorts. Let's read from here, okay? Were responsible for spate of deadly attack on security force. Most wanted Maoist commander Hidma killed in Andhra forest operation. Okay. The another news is about Supreme Court recalls own order bearing retrospective green nod for projects. On Umar Khan, a video in which he speaks of suicide bombing. Okay, Umar Khan's phone. Okay. This is the second page where you get detailed explanation of the first page. So read it in detail if you want any news. This is about the city where in a very poor air Jantar Mantar protesters demand right to life. Okay. PWD in build flyover two underpasses in northwest Delhi. Okay. Stand for design platform to manage Gurgaon on traffic. Okay. This is also about the city where blast outside Red Fort to tighten security. Police I-5 key areas. ED arrest Al Falah founder Siddiqui on the charge of money laundering. Spotlight on Siddiqui family from Madhya Pradesh cantonment town. Vani in Nia custody for 10 days. Okay. Tracking call data record of his two missing mobile phones. All in touch with Umar in last month under scanner. This is about the city where government opposes Umar Khalid, others bail plea in Supreme Court. Not spontaneous 2020 riots attack on nation sovereignty. High Court expects status of police probe against politician over hate speech. Okay. So let's read about this news because he is one of the most famous person at the time of 2020. He, due to a strong song that is said by him against government, where he said about Azadi. Okay, he is he is inside the jail, and this is all about the news. What the action taken over by the Supreme Court. Okay, everything is written here. So read it in detail. Okay, the another news is about three courts, two schools get hoax bomb threat. Okay, threat email was addressed to Press Information Bureau and Delhi Police. Okay, ahead of MCD bypolls, Delhi AAP chief what calls meeting today likely to expel former MLAs. Tell me the full form of MLA. Okay, I will tell you. I know no one is going to write in comment section. The full form of MLA is Member of Legislative Assembly. Okay. DTC driver to man official vehicles as department shifts to e-buses. This is the slides about politics. Let's read it. Where SCO heads of state council meeting in Moscow, zero tolerance to terror, no whitewashing Jaishankar. These are the words. Okay, by Jaishankar, where external affairs minister with the Russian president at Kremlin in Moscow. Okay, Maoist brought imported ideology but failed soon bastard to be in mainstream. Amid Bihar cabinet board talks, JDU Leaders meet Shah over speaker choice. Okay. My failure but not retiring will work twice as hard, says Kishore. Okay. After RSS volunteer killing, threats to Shena leader in Punjab, opposition question AAP government. This is also about the politics where Congress to protest in Delhi against SIR directs state unit to appoint booth agents. Okay. Local polls upset over BJP poaching. Sena ministers skip weekly cabinet meet. Okay. Staff engaged in self-intensive revision. Goa Jila Panchayat polls pushed by a week. It's about the nation where US deports gangster Anmol Bishnoi. Nia may seek his custody from court. If some news is irrelevant, I'm just going to skip that news, okay? No Indian institute in top 200 in QS Sustainability Ranking 2026. Okay. India achieved targets ahead of schedule, setting an example for developed countries, said by Yadav. Where India's climate action plan for 2035 to be out by year end. Okay, and environment minister said by. Okay. This is about the nation. Focus on SIR Creek, Brahmaputra River Basin, Eastern Ladakh. Army invites beats for fast patrol boats landing craft assault. Preventive measures after Red Fort blast. Jammu and Kashmir reds chemical shops industries to check misuse of ammonium nitrate. Two minor detained for anti-India activities booked under UAPA. What about Supreme Court? So the experts say Supreme Court verdict recall on technical ground, not endorsement of post facto approvals. Mother says captured torturing him, asking for more money. Seeks government, seeks ministry embassy help. Official says case being pursued on priority. It's about Jharkhand. Allured with job offer, Jharkhand techie land in cyber fraud net in Myanmar. Okay, okay, it's about job frauds. Okay, finally, we are at the editorial page or one of the editorial, whatever the topic it would be. We are going to read one editorial or one article in detail so that you will get a lot of ideas that what is happening in the economy and how the nations deal with that. Okay, so the editorial page is here, and the word of the day is they do not love, they do not show their love. Okay, William Shakespeare. You know, William Shakespeare, the author, is also known as romantic poet. He is romantic poet, and he was, I think, he is no more. And his words says that if you are unable to express your love, that means you are not in love. Okay. So this is the first article. It's by Raja Mohan Raja Mandala between US and Saudi Arabia. Israel is the elephant in the room. Okay, it's the first topic where a Saudi Israel normalization and expanded Abraham Accord could herald a different politician architecture for the Middle East. Okay, to clean up crypto, raise the guardrails. A Gaza resolution cannot exclude Israel. and wisdom of women voters, secret to NDA's landslide. Okay, and the last I think was I think last it is from the Madhvi Hidma's death. Leave Maoist rank and fight rulerless. Okay, so let's read one article. I think it is the biggest one. So we are going to read this article. It's by the one of the most common author, C. Raja Mohan. Let's read what he want to say us. So mainly a Saudi-Israel normalization and expanded Abraham Accord could herald a different political architecture for the Middle East. Okay, so everything is written here. Let's read it. Okay, just a second. I hope you all are listening to my voice and you all are able to hear my voice very clearly. Just a second. Okay. Hmm. So sorry for the disturbance. Let's begin today's session. And I meant to say that today's editorial, okay? So, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS. In India, the degree of doctorate is known as MBBS, and he is MBBS, okay? MBS. Visit to Washington this week. So, it's about the Saudi, Israel, and US. Three countries, okay? So, the prince visit where? Washington, okay? And I have to thinning the size of the pencil. Okay. Hmm. So US Saudi relation and raise hopes. What about the radical transformation of Middle East? Okay. So the prince or the founder of the modern Saudi kingdom met with whom? Franklin Roosevelt, US USS QMC in February 1945. As the US president returned from the Yalta Conference, even as he sketched out the post war political order in Europe, Roosevelt also led the foundation of the US Saudi partnership that became central to America's Middle East strategy, okay, and global hydrocarbon system. Washington, what Washington, just to, sorry. So, what Washington says? Um, Hmm. Washington assured to access to Saudi oil was matched by strong American security guard guarantee to the House of Saud. Okay, where the Roosevelt and Abdulaziz differed sharply on how to address Jewish aspiration for homeland in Palestine. Riyadh and Washington did not allow the difference over Palestine to overwhelm a mutually advantageous strategic partnership. Okay, so the meeting between MBS President Trump are rebooting that partnership through new and far-reaching grand bargain. Okay, and they are talking in this first line or in the first paragraph. They are mainly talking about what? They are mainly talking about the old relationships, about the US and about the Saudi. And the author says that how the relationships get strong and how they deal with the idea of development. Everything is written here. Oil to focus on building a broad-based economy and technological relationship. Okay, for MBS means the prince, okay, of Saudi, securing valuable support from America. Okay, or the King Salman is now 18 and he is very weak, frail, and has long delegated day-to-day governance to his son, where Saudi successions rarely been straightforward. Okay, so these all are the things that is written about the king and the prince and how they talk about the ideas and how they become the succession and how they make the prince as a succession of the kingdom. So, US backing for his sweeping Vision 2030 agenda at the heart of ambition is the transformation of Saudi Arabia from an extractive state into a diversified, globally competitive economy and a more open society, where MBS, new industry in technology, tourism, entertainment, logistic, and energy, green energy, opening a social space, long policed, long polished by conservative space. Okay, I'm not going to read each and every line because we all, after reading these two paragraphs, we all get the idea of this. Mainly says about the partnership and these deeds. Mainly, the author just want to explain the highlight that how they want development for their nations, and for this development they meet with each other and making a lot of agreements like trade agreements and other agreements, and it will help in the development of their nations. Okay, so everything is written here. Okay, so let's move on to the another slide. If you want to read any other topic, you can also able to read, okay, from my PDF section. This is the idea page where the nations do not heal through purges can Janus break cycle of vengeance politics. Okay. Language of security need upgrade beyond OTP. What the youth demand for COP30. At 6 Ramnath Goenka lecture, where Bihar result teaches that the government you run today will determine the future of your political party, left, right, or center. This is about the big picture. I think he was a Maoist that was killed in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, Hidma and his battalion I carried out some of fiercest guerrilla attack in Bastar that changed the security force steadily made inroads, setting up camps and carrying out sustained operations. After Hidma took over battalion, okay, killing 26 Jawans, it remained one the deadliest the Maoist attack to date, making Hidma one of the most wanted men on the security force list. The battle between the forces and battalion I continued until 2024. Hidma was turned into a mythical figure, but he only executed party orders. Finally, we are at the economy page. I'm sorry, it's about the explanation page, and there is a heading of economy. So we are going to read this economy and you have to read each and everything if I am going to skip any of them. Okay. So what's written in the economy? How base effect Boolean price shaped consumer price index inflation. How base effect driving CPI inflation? A rising share of gold silver prices. Okay. So India's headline inflation rate as measured by the CPI has been below the RBI medium target of 4% for 9 months in a row and fell to a record low of just 0.25% in October. Whether this will lead the RBI monetary policy MPC cutting the policy repo rate further in December 2025 or February 2026 will depend a lot on how India's interest rate setters interpret the underlying inflation data. This is because there is a plenty that explains how inflation has fallen so low and could have been even lower. First, there is impact of GST code came into effect from 22 September. Economists estimate that the companies have yet to pass full benefit to tax cut to consumer. This will reflect in inflation data for November, which will raise released on 12 December. Okay. So what are the base impacts? Everything is written by the Indian Express. And what are the key points? Everything is written here. Okay. Human activities and pollutions. What threatens India's sea cows? Security now blast. What is this SOP for transporting, storing explosive? Parasocial Cambridge and World of the Year. So finally, we are at the end, but not going to end because the economy page is left to read. So let's read the headlines of this page where the provisional legal measures under consideration, QCO rollbacks underway, Commerce Ministry weigh quick response to dumping concern. Okay, China's export to India on rise, government rescind QCO for viscose staple fiber. Railway launches new policy to boost bulk cement transport, sets freight rate at rupees 0.90 per ton kilometer. Okay, it's by the Google, where no form immune if AI bubble bursts, says Sundar Pichai. So finally, we are going to end today's session. If you have any doubt, then please comment down. I will definitely provide you the solution of that doubt. And please download this PDF through my description. Okay, so that you can able to read each and everything in detail. So thank you for watching and please like, share and subscribe. Please bye bye.